Hi.
I'm Joshua Simon.
I'm Kennedy Sung.
I'm Sam Joe.
And we are
The SG Boys.
That little gay podcast from Singapore.
Subscribe and find us on Instagram at The SG Boys.
Today's episode is going to be a really interesting one because we have 3 generations of Singaporean gay men in this room. We have little Kennedy, who represents... Are you Gen Z, by the way?
People are very uptight about definitions nowadays, so I'm like at the line between millennials into Gen Z.
Yeah, you are Gen Z lah. Just say Gen Z.
Born in the year 97, because some people say Gen Z is like around 98, then some people say that millennials end around like 96, so I'm like around that middle part. Yeah.
Nuts. 97, that's a good year as well. Titanic came out in 97.
The Asian financial crisis happened in 97.
Princess Diana died in 1997.
It was a very iconic year. Ooh.
And Kennedy Sung was born.
Hey.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm more than 2 decades older than you. Like, that's crazy.
I wanted to be like daddy, but
You should.
Time out, very special guest.
Like a tree.
I embrace my daddy status.
okay.
I do.
Okay, we're going to get to that husky, deep voice.
You kind of jumped the gun there. Josh is like panicking right now.
Well, Samjo and I, we're millennials.
Very much so.
We're 90s kids.
I'm not a 90s kid. I mean, I grew up in the 90s, but I'm very proud of the fact that I was born in the 80s.
Samjo, would you like to introduce our sexy hunk of a man who is sitting right next to Kennedy, making him sweat?
Ooh, I love this. Yes. Okay, of course. Our extra special guest for today, you may have seen him spin at one of the circuit parties or in the club pre-COVID days. Or you may also recognize his name as one of the brave souls who is currently appealing against the High Court's recent decision to retain Section 377A in Singapore.
He's fighting at the highest court to repeal 377A.
Exactly. You're right. Ready for repeal. Hashtag everything. Please give it up for Johnson Ong. DJ Big Kid is in the house, y'all. Woo!
Bam, bam. How do you feel today?
I feel great. Thank you for having me here. I actually told Josh when he approached me that I had not listened to any of your podcasts, but right after, I went and I binged.
Oh, did
you did?
I did.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
And it's so good. I mean, seriously, like you guys, it's just so good to have the next generation of LGBTQ people come and like do things for the community in the way that they're talented in, you know. So really good. I really enjoy the podcast with Vanda Miss Jo Kim.
Yes.
She was in my music video. So I love her. She's amazing. I thought the podcast about loneliness was very, very moving. That was, like a couple of you.
Can relate, right?
Yeah, got emotional. I think Joshua said some really, really poignant, real comments in that podcast.
Thank you.
That was really great.
Yeah. I've known you through social media for a while now. I always see your remixes, especially back in the Play days. Before, I guess, Taboo and Does Your Mother Know? DYMK?
Yeah. There was Play, and then before Play was Happy. I don't know if you were around for that.
No, I wasn't.
That was in the early 2000s.
Where was that? Happy?
That was where Play used to be.
Oh, okay.
Basically at the church lah.
Next to Fairfield Methodist Church.
Methodist Church. I love it. Good fences make good neighbors.
Yeah. I think a lot of us want to know what life was like before Tinder, Grindr, Jacked. How was it like being gay growing up
Oh my
in
God,
Singapore?
am I that old?
I mean, you're only slightly, just a tad.
Actually, how old are you? Okay, how young are you? Can I rephrase it? I'm going to swallow my words.
I am 46 this year.
Beautiful.
I was born in 1975, which makes me an 80s kid. I was around before Grindr, before Scruff, before all those apps, when it was IRC.
Okay, can you explain IRC?
Okay, so IRC stands for Internet Relay Chat.
Okay.
So what happens is everyone kind of congregates in this chat room. That time was dial-up. Then it makes this awful sound, right?
I can relate. I remember that.
And then it was like transferring data at like freaking 1 KB per minute, right? So it's like so slow. It was all text, so there weren't any images. Everyone's profile was like, okay, fuck boy, 27, 5'9" or 174 or whatever, and like, but that was how people would
Describe
themselves on their profile name.
Was that how the whole stats thing came about, where you
Yes.
name your height and weight, your age, ASL?
We want to know what the person looks like. It was all quite exciting, right? Because we didn't really have anything else to try to connect with someone. IRC, and then there was Friday.com,
Okay.
right? And then the Friday.com had like a huge section that kept growing, and that's how people put your pictures there, but it would take 2 hours to load.
Because dial-up, right?
Yeah, because dial-up. And then you had sgboy.com, which became trevi.com,
Yeah, it was
so
the
that was-
OG Trevi.
which became really, really popular as well for the younger kids.
Actually, when I started clubbing, Play was closed already. So I didn't actually use any of the forums. I started on Jack.
Okay.
I kind of took the stranger danger advice to the max. I lied about my school. I lied about my like my background and stuff because I was like afraid that people would like go and like find me and stuff. Like, so I was like way opposite of not cautious. Yeah, I was like super cautious.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that must have been even more intense when we didn't have these kind of profiles, since everything was in text and you kind of have to like put a little listing out. Hi, I saw you at the train station today. You're wearing denim, and if it was you at 4:45, can you message me?
That's a little bit scary.
Yeah, how was it like going to meet someone
It wasn't safe
Okay.
because you did not have a photo to go by. Even if you did have a photo to go by, it could have been a fake photo, right? It's not like right now where you have Instagram and everyone kind of has the whole history of photos. So it's
Yeah.
a little hard. I know people still fake it, right? But it's a lot harder. Back then, you didn't have anything to go by. Really just from what he typed.
In this day and age, I had like a kind of a system to like weed out if someone's a catfish or if someone's like lying to me. Like I get a photo, then I trade Instagram, I find them on Facebook, I see their social media profiles,
Correct.
I ask them for their Telegram, can you send me more photos? I don't mind if it's a self-destructing photo, just like, so like there's a lot now for me to cross-check, but that
Right.
wasn't available back then.
No, not at all. And people are saying it's dangerous now, right? So you would usually almost always meet in a public place. You would never say, come to your house and meet you there. It would never happen that way, right? So you would meet at maybe at a bus stop, taxi stand. Maybe you have a 5-minute conversation, go grab a coffee. You would go home with that guy. It's still not safe. How much do you really know a person from just having a coffee?
Yeah.
But that was the most you could do, right?
I mean, you're really going on a lot of trust or blind faith, so to speak.
And you could be really, really anonymous. It would be really hard to identify you. We didn't have a camera on our phones at that time where we could take a picture of you,
Right.
send it to my friend. You know, hey, I'm out with this guy. His name is, he lives here. We couldn't do that.
Yeah, you can't really hold
Yeah, can't
people
really-
accountable
yeah.
either.
I mean, it's just so much unknown with that kind of setup. Did you encounter any surprise in that sense? Like when you showed up and, you know, you realized that the guy maybe wasn't who he made himself out to be? Or maybe it was a pleasant surprise?
I don't remember any catfishes, and I don't think you could even really call someone a catfish from a text description of
Right.
himself.
A bunch of numbers and stats, right?
Yeah. Lean, swimmer board. What's the definition of that? It's subjective, right?
Right.
Right.
If the guy lied about his height, bring a measuring tape and you just like send that and then you just drop it.
But that's exactly what I mean. What if the guy was like 1.8 meters?
And you hold on, I have a chart.
No, and then he shows up and he's like,
No.
Kennedy, then how?
Wow.
Hey,
So
I'm
much
I'm
love.
short and proud.
I know you're proud of it, that's why.
Short pride.
You can handle this.
And of course, handling rejection would be very different as well compared to today, where you can kind of just swipe left, right? And this, you never know that I swiped left on you instead of right. Whereas before, if you had to reject someone, it's in front of their face. Yeah. Do you
Yes.
kind of recall any kind of situation like that with you? Does anything stick out, or has it all just kind of blurred out?
Rejections were common. You would meet someone and then that person looks at you and is like, I'm not feeling, I just don't like the way you look or whatever. And I say, okay, bye. You know, maybe you have a conversation for like a couple of minutes and then you say, oh, actually, I gotta go now.
But
You
it
know,
was
that kind of
understood
thing.
as...
It was understood as
Okay.
like, yeah, I'm not interested anymore. The person's not interested anymore.
I guess I still feel like that exists
still
in the modern
happens.
day way. And
right?
like maybe not on Tinder, but on Grindr, what do people do? Block.
Yeah,
you talk
they
to someone you
just-
don't like and you just don't give an explanation, block.
You
And then the person
disappear.
you just disappear and then the person just can't find your profile anymore. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's more rude than rejecting someone, like telling them that you're not interested.
Yeah.
You know, like that's really quite like...
But it's part of efficiency, right?
Yeah, you don't invest the time.
Yeah,
and
they
like
got to meet the person
Yeah.
and then make it awkward. Technology has given us a way to like
It sped
really
things up
be-
so-called lah. Yeah.
I'd rather get rejected online than, can you imagine, I dress up for this guy and then go all the way to the bus stop in my nice red top and then...
He left me at the bus stop. Attention spans were longer. You know, now it's like if you want an alternative, you have an alternative. You can
Yeah.
just go on to the next one very, very quick. If you are not interested, you just buy and then next.
Yeah. Right now, it's like very sex obsessed.
Is it more
right?
sex obsessed now than before?
I feel it is because back then people were trying to also connect, get to know friends because they felt alone, excluded from friends from school because they were gay, they felt different. So they just wanted to find somebody, you know, who was like them.
There probably would be a significantly lower amount of out of the closet gay men in Singapore. You see representation in the media now with the internet on Netflix where it's almost much easier to come out as well compared to before where everyone's kind of living in secrecy.
Yes.
I guess these kind of like expressions of your sexuality in that generation is not so like I'm still like scared to hold hands in public, that kind of thing, you know.
We all are.
Yeah, we all are,
Yeah.
but
Like in Singapore,
yeah, I don't
all
know.
are scared.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know who's not scared. I've seen it with the girls. It's easier because they are more open about it. But with the boys, it's not. It feels weird.
Yeah, there are many layers when it comes to men. I mean, there's 3778, which we will get into. There's also sort of the masculinity of it being in question when two men hold hands compared to where girls. And then there's also sort of a fetishized approach when two girls hold hands as well. There was a period where I was dating someone and I did hold his hand in public. It was just the most liberating feeling. I told him it's almost like we're protesting the moment we're holding hands.
You
And
are.
I know it's a scary thing to say, but it really is just being able to hold hands in public and not feel afraid and confidently walk through the room because you care about each other and you're both in it. It's a powerful feeling and it certainly is protest. Thankfully, things are a little bit easier now. We feel like we have our cues from, say, Pink Dot or Prout because a lot's been on the news for the past couple of years. Before Pink Dot, did the gay community have someone to be that spokesperson who would write these press releases or stick up for everyone else or that one place where you can get information about what's happening in Singapore?
I think everyone got their information from Friday.com. It's like a
Resource portal.
resource portal, correct. So they had journalists who would write articles.
Wow.
I know a couple of friends who are slightly older than me and they started off writing for Trevi and everything.
So we would go there for
The hard-hitting stuff.
what was happening in other Asian countries, for example. So it wasn't just about Singapore, it was about all of Asia. Stuart Koh, he was kind of like the spokesperson because of Friday.com. You know, maybe him, Dr. Roy Chan, the president of AFA.
Yeah, I just think it's very important to have someone to look to as sort of a pillar. I gotta ask, Johnson, have you ever DJ'd at Play? I'm pretty sure you have, right?
Yes, I have.
It was just freaking wild when I was like 19, 20.
What I heard was that there are platforms.
Yeah.
Because people,
Definitely,
people will always be like, oh my God, Kennedy, if you were around doing Play, I know that you're the kind who go and dance on a platform, that kind.
And there was a stage. It was that place where if you want to be seen or you want to drop it like it's hot, you go up on stage. Because you know it's always going to be, there was a culture to it where at the start of the night, no one's on stage. Everyone's in their little cliquey corners. And then when they start playing Lady Gaga, the moment you hear mom, 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 okay, everyone starts running already. Right? Everyone starts running and then they go up on the stage. A couple of people, then more people, then more people. Then it's all the way spilling over to the front. And then everyone is just like making out and the wall at the back was neon lit. I'm having all these memories of I was
Memories
a
of
little
who you
bit
made out with, is it?
that period, everyone was still kind of figuring out who they were,
Right.
you
So
know?
who do you make out with?
And it was just a lot of...
Maybe figuring out who they were.
Gay means gay lah.
It It was some of the best clubbing nights of my entire life because I think when Play closed down, going to Taboo and Tantric was just very different. And I didn't have those kind of wild, eccentric nights in Singapore in gay clubs ever again.
Well, hearing you say that makes me feel really old. My memories of going out to Tanjong Pagar on a Saturday night is vastly different from yours.
So what was that like on that same street?
It was like we used to have those crazy nation parties.
What?
Do you guys remember?
I don't know why
we don't.
I don't think we remember because we don't know.
Goodness.
Please enlighten us. Please,
Yeah,
Johnson.
tell us.
So Friday.com would organize these parties called Nation, and they will happen over National Day weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then they would have parties in Sentosa on those little islands.
Oh my god, that sounds so
What,
fun.
like
I've always
Fire
wanted-
Island?
Super fun.
I've always wanted to go to a beach rave.
Yeah. Big Splash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was called Snowball.
That's a
I don't know
water
if I'm
theme
getting all
park,
these
right?
Right. Oh my god, you don't even know Big Splash. So the main event for Nation would be at the water fountain at Sentosa.
Sounds hot already.
Yeah. So you would have 10, 15,000 that would fly in from all over Asia that would come, and it would be a nighttime party with the water fountain and lights. And then they would play Whitney Houston's My Love Is Your Love.
Which, by the way, that's actually my favorite Whitney Houston song.
Amazing dance remix of it. That's my experience.
Which already sounds, you would think that with how the world is starting to change and how more liberal we are with the more exposure and representation, that things would be more fun and wild and we would have more parties. But for Play in the 2010s, that was my sort of last great clubbing night because everything started to be more downsized. You don't have these kind of fun themed parties anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know why that is?
Because in 2004, it got banned. You guys don't know this?
No,
I
we really
don't.
don't. And
You really don't know
We-
I've
this?
never even read anything about
honestly-
it before, like at all.
It got banned by who?
Just Wikipedia.
Oh my gosh.
Nation Party, Wikipedia, the whole history is that it got banned.
Oh.
what were the reasons given?
Do you want us to research it instead of you telling us? Is this a wink,
little
wink, something
sensitive.
happened? Okay. All right. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
But this is just really fascinating.
I don't want to really go into why because we all don't really know why. 377A was still on the books as it is now.
Why was there some sort of paradigm shift? And I don't think, I'm not even sure if the internet has the answers, but
I don't really think anybody has the answers to plays
Was
and
this a
shows.
time when the person snipped off his pubic hair with the performance art one?
Yes.
Sorry, can you tell us about what happened there?
There was a time where this performance artist, he got in front of a stage and he just cut off his pubes in front of the audience.
That was performance art.
Yeah. Got a lot of backlash. Do you know, I'm so surprised that you guys are so clueless, which is like so shocking to me.
Right.
But I should have expected
No,
that because you weren't there to experience it. So
Yeah.
why would you know about it?
Right.
But also, can I just jump in there real quick? I think this is something that I'm sure like goes across the decades as well. When you grow up and you're afraid of your own sexuality and you're living in that shame and you don't want to have anything to do with it, maybe you just want to have a hookup or you go to your Saturday night party at Play and then you want nothing to do with being gay for the rest of your week, right? You go to school, you focus on your grades and stuff. And it wasn't until more positive portrayals of LGBT characters were now on screen, like because of Glee and then because of Lady Gaga saying you're born this way and then empowering you to say, actually, no, these are not things that I should be ashamed of. These are things that I'm going to celebrate, because there was a shift in that period as well where I said, I want to know what's going on actually with the law. I want to know what is happening and I want to show up. So there had to be a shift for me to then also subscribe to all these different channels and then eventually end up doing this podcast. There was that click that needed to happen. Yeah. It wasn't just sort of living through that time.
I have a question.
Please.
Do you ever look at younger gays and go, oh, these young gays?
Never.
No?
Because I find the younger gays so woke, knowing about all the issues driving the annual Pink Dot. But it's because of what happened. We have those people who opened up gay clubs and bars back in the early days to thank, because it gave gay people a place to congregate. And then from there, people talked and people encouraged each other. And then it kind of like became a bit more visible.
Yeah.
So it started from that.
Right, ground up.
Yeah, ground up. And then we had the 2007 challenge where Section 377 was up for review, right? And then they got rid of Section 377 and they left 377A, which is meant for the gays, on the books. So there was a whole effort to, we submitted a petition. I don't know whether you remember, there was even a rep. From there, we started realizing we could push it a little bit more. The effort to repeal failed, right? Back in 2007 when it was up for review in Parliament, that failed. Pink Dot was born out of that.
Out of the ashes.
And yet another phoenix rose in 2018. In fact, 3 phoenixes, I would say. You being one of them. You were one of the 3 brave men who stepped forward and actually filed a case in the court trying to repeal Section 377A and arguing that that particular law is unconstitutional, essentially.
Yeah.
How did that come about? What drove you to put yourself forward?
The Indian Court of Appeal had just declared Section 377 unconstitutional. Because we follow the Indian Penal Code quite closely and their cases do have influence over our own cases here in Singapore.
Because it was all inherited from the British.
All
right?
inherited from the British, right? Outdated and antiquated. In 2014, there was an effort to also declare unconstitutional. That failed. In 2018, because of the Indian decision, that motivated me to also file an application. But it was my lawyer, Eugene Turaisingam, who is a human rights lawyer. He came and we discussed it, and he said that maybe it's time to challenge that law again. He said, would you like to be the applicant on that suit? And I agreed. And I've known Eugene since I was 8. We were in ACJC together, we were in the Students' Council.
I'm from ACJC.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
you look like an AC boy. Yeah. That's not a good thing.
I know, no.
Yeah.
But before that,
Terrible thing.
before that, I was from St Andrews actually.
Oh, good for you. So,
Yeah, St Andrews to ACJC.
and then you did badly, then you went to ACJC instead.
No, actually,
RJ.
in my time, I heard it improved lah. It was no longer
from
the
11 to 10.
from my no, like it was like top 5. And
shit.
like there was no more partying culture already.
Oh, yeah, that's not fun. Okay, so
Back to less important matters.
but we connected.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, he was my friend. He also knew that I did gay advocacy work. I was actually involved in the 2007 repeal. Mm-hmm. And also I was ambassador for Pink Dot for I think the 2nd or 3rd year. And that's why he also approached me to ask me, do you want to be the face of this? Put your name down and be the face of it. I'm like, okay, sure.
And then 2 other people joined and filed their own cases as well.
Correct.
You have Dr. Roy Tan, retired general physician, LGBT activist, and Brian Chung, former chief of Uga Chaga,
Correct.
LGBT non-profit organization. They also filed their own cases.
I thought it was a good thing because then it felt like more of a team effort. It's better to have more people file, so it feels like, okay, the community wants this. So I was really glad in terms of oh wow, I don't have to kind of shoulder this on my own in the beginning. Yes,
Yeah.
And all the different councils, they all coordinated with each other in the sense of who's going to argue which part of the law and take which section. So it wasn't like there were overlaps. When the case is heard, they hear all 3 cases at the same time.
Unfortunately, the High Court dismissed the application and upheld the validity of 377A.
Yeah. But
And then now you're currently appealing to, the Apex Court, Court of Appeals. The hearing was in January. What was the last you've heard from there?
We are awaiting the decision of the Court of Appeal. We're not sure how long that will take. They usually take a few months to come up with the decision. Yeah.
I just have this question because people know you as, one of the 3 guys who stepped forward to challenge 377A. Did you get a lot of messages?
The support and encouragement was really quite overwhelming. I think a lot of them how can I help? Can I contribute money? Do you have a fund? Thankfully, Eugene and his team are doing it pro bono. So there are no legal fees to pay. So I did not accept any financial help. You could feel like people just really wanted to be a part of it, to somehow play a small role in trying to get rid of this crazy, ridiculous, arbitrary law.
Yeah, I think every time when a challenge is made to 377A, the entire community perks up and goes, this is a chance. This could be the moment. Change is in the air. I feel like from the three of us here, so we thank the three of you for really stepping forward. I'm guessing you also got nasty messages. I don't want to dwell on them too much, but did you?
You know what? All I heard was that a couple of my more racy photos from my Instagram were being circulated in conservative text message groups. And they were saying, oh, look at this guy. This is the guy who's challenging, look at how, whatever.
Right.
Sort of paint you in that perverse kind of way, which...
Yeah,
right.
a little slut shaming. He's like almost half naked. He has his top off. He can't be a good guy. He must have loose morals. But that is the very trite and very tired argument.
They always do that with gay men. They're always like, they're so disgusting, it's so perverse.
Yeah.
Why are people's personal morals influencing the law? That's another question, but I mean...
No, you're right to ask that question. Don't hold back, Kendra.
Deep breaths.
Okay, Samantha.
Go for it, Kendra. Tell us what you really think.
Earlier on, I talked about how a lot of gay men who are in the closet can sometimes live in that sort of sunken place where they want nothing to do with 377A and they think it has nothing to do with me. I don't have to go to Pink Dot. I don't have to hashtag ready for repeal. They're probably going to fail anyway. Are you kidding me? This is Singapore. Don't bother. See how law. What do you say to people in the community with that mentality?
It's like the Stockholm Syndrome, right? You've lived your life not having any gay rights. So you're not going to miss what you don't know. I realized that was sorely missing because I did live overseas in a country with very strong gay rights. I was there in San Francisco when gay marriage was passed in the US. In West Hollywood, where I would see billboards, Grindr billboards, or just gay themed literature. I would see men holding hands on the streets. No one batted an eyelid, right? It was a non-event. Stark contrast to where I grew up in Singapore.
Yeah. How beautiful it must have been to start from the black and white stats on IRC and then now everything's in Technicolor and you're with your people and you're seeing the world and then you come back to Singapore and you say we don't have to leave to be ourselves. We can make that right here. You're not waking up to something completely different now that you've gone to the West. These are things that you've always had in you, but you're now empowered by people who are brave enough to come together. So it's not about Western ideals or an agenda or bringing the West to Singapore. You're just making your home, which has always been true for you, now part of the community.
Right. We are starting from a very, very low baseline. We're not trying to get gay marriage passed in Singapore. We're just trying not to be criminals.
Can you repeat for everyone who's unsure of what Section 377A is specifically?
So this is from the Singapore Statutes Online Penal Code, Outrageous Indecency 377A. Any male person who, in public or private, commits or abets the commission of or procures or attempts to procure the commission by any male person of any act of gross indecency with another male person shall be punished with imprisonment of a term which may extend to 2 years. When people say, oh, you shouldn't repeal 377A because whatever you do should be behind your closed doors. But the law is saying that it's in private. Like, love is so much more than what two people do behind the privacy of their bedroom. You keep legislating our love. You keep saying behind closed doors. Number one, there's the irony in that. Number two, love is so much more than that. It's about community, it's about family, it's about everything around you. And
it's about holding hands in public without having to worry about
and
what
so
other people think.
I was just very infuriated at that point because I just saw that it's contradictory. The premise doesn't even make sense.
I think conservative camp has a very unhealthy fixation on what gay people do behind closed doors. Or I may not be having gay sex with my boyfriend or my partner. And like you said, it's more than that. It's love, companionship. So why legislate that?
I think it's the purest form of who you are, right? It's your expression of love, which I think all of us straight gay, we love, we have loved, and we want to be loved. To have a law loom over the best parts of who you are, that is what fuels my sort of activism against it.
Yeah, and some people say, oh, I don't want my sexuality to define me, as a way to say that I don't want to be loud and proud. I don't want to be publicly against 377A. They say I don't want it to define me. But the fact is, it does define you because of the way it's legislated. It is intruding into your personal life. So it is a fact because of the way this country is shaped. It's not a choice in that sense.
Right. And just because it's a law that isn't enforced now doesn't mean it can't be enforced.
Which is the new argument,
future.
which is the argument that has been brought up because it's not in writing. It's not in the letter of the law.
That's absolutely correct. Who is to say a new Prime Minister or a new Attorney General would not enforce the law down the road? There is no guarantee. Are gay people meant to live their lives under this cloud of uncertainty? It's not fair. During the submissions in the Court of Appeal, that was one of the main considerations. There is no guarantee for gay people in the future that they would not be prosecuted under 377A unless Attorney General's chambers or the government can come out and say, in perpetuity, this law will never be enforced. Yeah. But they can't do that, right?
So Johnson, are you hopeful? Do you think that, I know I was looking into the crystal ball and everything, but are you hopeful that it's going to happen within our lifetime? I think that's what a lot of gay people wonder, right? Am I going to live to see that change?
I am hopeful that we will see the law repealed in our lifetime. It has to. To me, it's a foregone conclusion that this law will be repealed. It is a matter of sooner or later, it's going to happen. Yeah, if I wasn't confident that we had a chance for this law to be struck off our penal code, I would not have filed the application for the suit. So, yeah.
The SG Boys, that little gay podcast from Singapore.
Subscribe and find us on Instagram at The SG Boys.
The beliefs, views, and opinions expressed on this podcast are attributable to its hosts only and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, organization, company, or individual.